wouldn't be too bad.
But dude, you made the top three, which is awesome. I want to
Yeah.
touch on your AGT experience now. Did you sign up for yourself, or did someone nominate you to be on the show?
It was sort of myself, so it had been a process. So I actually tried to get on the show for 5 years.
Okay.
So I had to audition, but I was able to so there's not to get too into the weeds about it, but there's different kinds of auditions. So there's the cattle call audition, which is we're gonna be here in Los Angeles at this day at this time, and then you get in that long line and you wait all day, and then you show up and you hope it goes well. But they also have other types of auditions where basically you're doing the same type of audition. There's no guarantees, there's nothing like that, but you get to just show up at a time. So it's basically just a little easier on your schedule. So the first time I did it, I'm good buddies with Taylor Williamson, who got runner up on the show, I think season 10.
Okay.
I got correct. I don't know if I'm 100% right on it. It was one of those seasons where he's a very funny comedian. He got runner up on that. And basically, he recommended me to them and they set up a thing. I did horrible during that audition. This is how you know these things aren't rigged in the way that some people think. I had the guy who that they loved, who was just the runner up. I had all this on my side. I could not have bombed that audition harder than I did. I was it in the long run, it ended up being the best thing for me. Uh, Knowing kind of how the process worked, and when I actually did get to go through it, and I was not emotionally prepared for it. I wasn't a skilled enough performer at the time to get through it. But yeah, but I went to that audition and I was just like, 90 seconds? I can do 90 seconds. I'm doing these 45-minute headlining set. I can cry. I barely prepared. I and then like you get into the room. Like I was thinking, in the context of a comedian, there's gonna be, a host that introduced you. I thought they did like kind of like little showcases like that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a little crowd of a few people that you can work with. No, you get called in and you're in this giant, like banquet hall or whatever at a hotel or wherever it was, and it's just giant room, and you're standing on what would be a dance floor if they were holding a wedding there, and there's a camera person and a producer, and that's it. And you're just like, this is not what I anticipated.
How
So
how do you go from like you said doing like 45-minute or not audition but 45-minute skits? Would you call it skits or
sets,
sets?
sets,
When you
yep.
do 45-minute sets to now summarizing everything or narrowing everything down to a minute and a half. How do you do that? How do you know where to begin, how to end it? Like that's a huge difference.
It was tough. It was the I'll speak more to the audition itself in a second, but it was the hardest part of AGT for me. Is because when I do my shows, I'm not going to claim I'm this great orator who's telling these epic tales, but my jokes are done in story form.
Mhm.
If I'm it like I have a lot of stuff about being a dad right now, but I don't look at it as 10-second joke, 15-second joke, 30-second joke, minute long joke. It's here's a 20-minute chunk that I'm telling the story about the ups and downs of being a dad and how I was born and all that. So, but you don't get to do that on AGT. AGT, the longest set I got to do on AGT was 3 minutes.
Mhm.
And the only reason I got to do that long is because they gave me some of the magician time, is how they called it. My finals did not have a magician. The magicians get a little extra time because they have more to set up.
Yeah.
So the only reason I even got to do three is because no magicians made the finals. So they
Wow.
were like, we have a little extra time to play with, so we'll give you an extra, 45 seconds to finish what you want to do.
Wow.
And it was tough because AGT, especially the nature of how that show works, it's so boom, 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 boom. You can't spend 3 minutes telling the story to get one laugh at the end because people will just be like, oh, he sucked because he
Yeah.
didn't get enough laughs. So it has to be laugh, 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 laugh. So, man, I was pulling things from the archives, jokes I hadn't done in years, but I was like, this is kind of short and it fits together. I was writing new stuff to hope to see if it would work and make sense. Um, yeah, it was a huge difference. And j just the other things that changed too, like why my first audition I think didn't go very well is that also as a comedian, you sort of learn to be very self-aware of what's happening. If I go to a dive bar in the middle of Iowa to perform for three drunks who don't know it's comedy night, I have to go in with a different energy than if I'm going to a packed theater of 4,000 people who paid specifically to see me, who are huge fans. Like, you can't do the same set the exact same way because the circumstances are different.
It's a different audience.
Exactly. And just the energy's different, the room is different, it's the way the venue is laid out. Like, if you're at a theater, you're not going to be interrupted by the bartender making a mixed drink with their loud blender. That might happen at a bar gig, like that's just, and you have to roll with that. So when I went into the audition, that very first audition, that I did poorly on, I was kind of playing to the fact that like I'm in this big giant room at like 1 p.m. and there's two people in here and one of them's a camera, like so I'm playing to that. And that's not what they want. They want to see what you're going to look like on TV. That's the way that they're analyzing it. And fortunately, I got more opportunities to come back and try again. And what actually got me on the show, I had almost made it the year before, is what I found out.